Welcome into another edition of Earnshaw Radio. Nick Earnshaw here, going to take you through the next 30 to 40 minutes or so. Remember to follow, like, and subscribe at Earnshaw Radio. We got a lot to get into. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, follow all the socials. That's Earnshaw Radio. Chime in, comment, text. I don't care what you do. You can get involved with the show. Appreciate everyone tuning in on Monday. No interview this week, so you get me yapping once again on Earnshaw Radio here on a Wednesday night prior to a late night Phillies game. And yeah, I'm so done. As someone who has multiple jobs, I mean, we gotta stop with the 10 o'clock games. I mean, what's up with this late season West Coast trip? Brutal. But we got a lot to get to, and we got important stuff. But once again, remember, like, subscribe, share at Earnshaw Radio. We have a lot to cover today. If you're chiming in, if you're watching, you're more than welcome to comment. You tell me I'm an idiot, tell me I'm wrong. I don't care. We love discussion here on Earnshaw Radio. I love chopping it up with everybody who joins the stream. All right, first things first, I want to get into the Philadelphia Phillies. I haven't joined you since they clinched the division. We talked Monday prior to the game, semi to the end, and I was falling asleep. But guess what? Phillies, they are NL East champions for the second year in a row, back-to-back championships, first time since the 2010 and 2011 season. We love to see it. It's very exciting time. There's nothing better than Red October. Nothing beats Red October. I am stoked for the playoffs. I love going to the bank and just being in that atmosphere. There's nothing like it in sport, nothing like it whatsoever. So I'm just thrilled about that. Phillies, they come back on the hangover game, right? And JT doesn't play. He was ill. But mainly everyone was in the hangover lineup, which is a little bit of a shocker. And it just shows you a little bit how this team's a little bit different this year. There's something in the air, right? Something's got to be in the air because this team is playing really, really good baseball, and they're getting contributions from guys from Lehigh Valley, guys in the bottom of the lineup. Not your $100 million players, not your $300 million players. Guys who are out, backups, platooners, they are contributing to this team. And that is very, very important. You look back through the season, right? I'll pick on a guy I've had a lot of hopes for, a guy I've been a little bit hard on as well, and that's Bryson Stott. Bryson Stott, at the end of July, was hitting 233 on the season. 233. And he's at that month, the whole month of July, he was batting a $194. On base percentage, 282. That's abysmal. It's atrocious. It's awful. It's terrible. You look at what he's done since then. His on base percentage has been raised to 330. It's truly remarkable. He batted 307 in the month of August. He's batting 356 in the month of September. That guy has turned his season around like no other. I mean, it's unbelievable what he has been able to do. Truly remarkable, because he was awful for a while this season. And it's like, you were thinking for a while, it's like, man, are we ever going to get that Bryson Stott from the end of 2022 throughout 23, right? Were you going to get that player that you thought he was going to turn into? Remember, there were times that Bryson Stott was compared to Chase Utley. Is he going to be the next Utley? Yeah, moves to second base, Trey gets here, etc. He has been huge for this team. The slug has jumped dramatically over 600 this month in September. I mean, insane. He is really, really turned it around. And you have to be excited about that. And I've joked with Mike Gill on 97.3 on the porch. Keep him in the 9 hole. I loved having him in the 9 hole. Obviously, you can't do that right now just because all the injuries, Bohm, Turner, the whole thing. But he has been so good with less pressure on him, bottom of the lineup. I know he's been up there with all the injuries going on lately, but he is just mashing the baseball. He's been much better at the plate. Because remember, beginning of the year in the summer, early summer, July, June, he was having the most confusing at-bats ever. And he is a guy who takes a lot of pitches. He sees some of the most pitches in baseball, if I'm not mistaken. So to see him finally start to get it rolling and feel like that guy, that grand slam a couple of years ago against the Miami Marlins. Yeah, that's the guy we were promised. That's the guy we thought we were getting. And Bryson Stott has been huge. That's just one guy. That's just one of them. Max Kepler. Kepler's been hitting the baseball. He's been mashing. He's been much better than Nick Castellanos. Max Kepler, 279, 6 home runs, 19 RBIs in his last 30 games. That is compared to Nick Castellanos with 6 RBIs, is batting a $189 in his last 30 games. Almost unplayable. Max Kepler, it feels like since the trade deadline, when they went out and got Harrison Bader. See you later, Bader. I love Harrison Bader. Guy's a ball player. Ever since they got him and traded for him, didn't have to give up much. It kind of lit a fire underneath the Keplers of the world, the Marshes. I mean, Marsh we'll get into in a second, but he is much better, and he seems more comfortable when he's in right field. Maybe that's all it took. Add another guy into the mix, and then moving him back to his natural position where he played a ton in Minnesota in right field. You need him because Castellanos just hasn't been doing it. Just has not. So you've had contributions from guys like that, and that's massive. That's so massive, to say the least. Otto Kemp comes back up. Last 7 games, batting .308, coming up with big hit after big hit. Bryson Stott, we talked about. Brandon Marsh, remember, started the year 0 for 29, went on the IL, and has come back with a vengeance, to say the least. He's hitting off runs off lefties. He's a platoon guy. He's been awesome. So credit where credit's due. He has been much better. You've gotten so much out of him throughout the year. Early on in the season, it was like, oh my God, is he done? Do you need to move on from him? He has been amazing. So I love that they're getting contributions from the bottom of the lineup. Even a guy like Weston Wilson, you won the division with a lot of Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs, right? And Tom Thompson even talked about it when he was getting, they were celebrating winning the division in Los Angeles. He doesn't have the numbers. You go check his numbers. I mean, he's not, getting hits all the time, but he's coming up with the big hit, the timely hit. That is massively important. You need a guy with stones who's going to come up with the big timely hit, right? Weston Wilson's been that guy. He's coming up with a timely hit. That's someone you want coming off the bench in the postseason. Hey, can you go get a big hit for us right now? We got a runner on second, 2 outs. We need to drive in the tying run, the winning run, an insurance run. Weston, we need you to go out there. He can also play second base, center, left field, third base, wherever you want to put him. First base, doesn't matter. Play anywhere. You need guys like that on the margins to win ball games late in the year in September and October. He's been awesome. Coming up with a timely hit. They need guys like that. Otto Kemp's been doing that too. But this begs the question, okay? Can they keep it going? That's where I get, you need, and Jimmy Rollins talked about this post-game on TBS, him and Pedro Martinez. Yeah, you need the stars to do it. But do you think the bottom of the Phillies lineup will continue to thrive throughout the postseason? Comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. Because I worry. I'm a Philadelphia fan. I'm from the area, South Jersey, Philadelphia area, okay? I'm going to worry. And there's no reason you shouldn't worry. They are going through an amazing stretch right now, and it's been awesome to watch. You're celebrating in Dodger Stadium, winning a division. You're up, 6.5, 7 games now on the Dodgers for that second spot. Do you think the bottom of the lineup will continue to thrive throughout the postseason? That is the question. That's the main one. That's the big one. Okay? I think they can. However, this is a team that if you go back 24, 23, 22, they go cold all at the same time. They get hot all at the same time, which shows pretty good camaraderie. You got to feed off of each other. That's fantastic. However, it could be a negative. And when you have guys, Stott, Marchand coming up with a big home run in the ninth last night, Deotto Kemp's the world stepping up, all of those guys, the Marshes of the world, winning you games. Remember, they were no hit through 5. Shohei Ohtani no hit them through 5. And thanks to the way baseball's played nowadays, they get to the bullpen. But buddy, it calls them the bullpen bullies, and it's true. And so they get to the bullpen, this team starts mashing the baseball. You're obviously going to need the Schwarbers of the world, the Turners of the world when he comes back, the Bohms, the Harpers. Those guys have to produce. You need them to. At this point, you need those guys more than anything in the postseason, because you can't have the bottom lineup carrying you through the whole entire postseason. It's just not feasible. Could it happen? Sure. Crazier things have happened, obviously. But it begs the question. They are scorching at the moment. But that's baseball. Things cool off. Things change. Remember, they were swept by the Mets in Citi Field just a couple of weeks ago, and then they swept them right back. Things change throughout the season in baseball. Baseball's a funny game. It's a long season. You go through those stretches. Is it too early? And is it too much from the bottom of the lineup? And are you getting too much from them now? What will they look like in a couple of weeks? It's a worry that fans will have. And I'm one of them. I would be a little concerned because of what the track record of this team has shown in the postseason. They fall apart together. They succeed together. They're hot all at the same time. It feels like they feed off of each other in that lineup. It's like if one guy's going and the other guy starts going, and et cetera, et cetera. That's just how this team has been. But they're getting contributions from the bottom, and you can't argue any other way. They have been huge. The Stotts, the Marshes, all of those guys. Marchand coming with a big hit. All of them. All right, we get some comments in. My guy Jovan, we love Jovan. It's the guy. He said, I think they can, meaning the bottom of the lineup. Just need one or two of those guys to get on base and have those big-time hits. Bader will be key. I'm glad you mentioned see you later, Bader. Love Harrison Bader. For Bader, I think Bader's the glue. Bader feels like the glue to this whole puzzle, doesn't he? Because you didn't really know what you were going to get out of him at the deadline. You thought he could help. They started platooning him at first, right? And then he's just, the first 10 games were not really going to contribute that much. Is that going to happen? And then all of a sudden, he just turned it on. Batting over 300 since they got him, picked him up since the trade deadline. He has been huge. You got the crab walk in center field. He has been great, but I think he is the kid. I am with you, Jovan. He is the glue to this lineup. The glue. And he was great. He's been great leading off, too. I've loved him leading off. That's been awesome. So, for the bottom of the lineup, Bader is going to be a big part of it. And when you get guys back, because you're going to get Turner back. Bones out in L.A., right? You saw Trey Turner. Did anybody see the video of Trey Turner? I loved it. They're setting up a stage for a concert at CBP, and he's got like this little window over at shortstop where there's still a little bit of dirt, and he's taking ground balls. That video went viral. I believe the Philly captain put it out. and he's taking ground balls while they're making the stage. Good to say. That's a positive. You want that. You want to see those type of things heading into the postseason. So you're going to get Turner back. You're going to get Bohm back. Turner's going to go back in the leadoff spot. I know the Bader's had some success there, but Bader will go back down in the lineup. Turner will lead off. Turner, Schwarber, Harper. I guess you go Realmuto, Bohm, Bader right there. Whatever you want to do. I love it. Like, I think if you could get those guys back and continue to contribute, right? If Turner comes back and he's still he does what he's been doing all year, competing for a batting title type of thing, you're in a good position. And if you just hope this isn't just a stretch during the season and then it falls apart in the post, because they're going to get the bye. I mean, they're going to get at least the second seed if they don't catch Milwaukee. If they don't catch Milwaukee, they're at least going to be the 2 seed. But if you are the Phillies, if the guys at the bottom start fading a little bit, right? That's when you need your top guys to really turn it on. They are the key, obviously, the whole thing. J-Roll talked about it post-game last night, TBS. That is the key. So if those guys start a little, you need your superstars to be superstars throughout the postseason. You don't have to play that wild card series. You're going to play division, NLCS, boom. Then you get to the World Series. And hopefully that's the case. Because you do feel it. And when you have JT Realmuto answer the question, usually when they were doing these celebrations and Rob Thompson would ask JT how many more, and this time he said whatever it takes, it feels different. It just does. It's got a 22-ish feel a little bit, but in a different way. Like 22 was a shock. They limped into the playoffs. The first game against St. Louis, they go down, they come back. You had a Gene Segura. Now you got like a Harrison Bader, right? Scrappy type of player. They didn't have that over the past couple of years when Gene left, right? You get a Bader in there. Now Bader and Gene are two totally different players, but they have that same type of like style where it's like scrappy. They're gonna get on base, and Bader might even be better. Who knows? But it feels like you needed that glue guy. And that's what Bader feels like. I compare him to Gene a little bit, right? And they're just a different feel. Like, this is a more dominant feeling, right? 22 is more of an underdog type feeling, 2017. There's also an underdog element to this team because you're missing Turner right now. Boom. You lose your guy, Zach Wheeler. And you have those pitchers behind him. So I really do believe there's something there with this team. Can the bottom of the lineup continue to stay hot? You're not going to have all those guys be playing because Turner and Bohm will come back. But yeah, I think this is a team that can go, and you're going to need the superstars to show up. And these guys got to stay consistent. Stott, Marsh, those guys have to be consistent. Bader has to be that glue guy, right? So I'm glad Jovan brought him up because he feels like the Gene Segura that they were missing for a couple of years when they signed Trey Turner, moved Stott over to second. Maybe that's Bader. I'm excited. I already went out and bought the t-shirt. I need the hat, but I already got the t-shirt. I am so pro going to get division, championship, World Series. Like I do it every year. Every year I get every single t-shirt. Now, does my bank account hurt? Absolutely. It does. It hurts. But guess what? You got to budget for it. You got to prepare for this stuff. And that's what we did this year. We were prepared heading into the postseason for this type of thing. So let me know what you think. We're going to move topics a little bit, but if you have a thought on the Phils, do you think the bottom of the Phillies lineup will continue to thrive throughout the postseason? I'm a little worried, little skeptical, but if they start fading, that's when you need the superstars to start going up, right? You need the Harpers to hit the big home run. You need Schwarber to stay hot, right? You need those guys to pick up the slack because it's the bottom of the lineup winning you games right now. It really is. Those guys have been massive. Oh, I can't wait. Red October, just get here already. Get me, like, just skip that. Let's just skip the next couple of weeks. Get to the beginning of October. I believe October 5th would be the start of the DS. Let's get there. Let's get there. It's a great time of year. Football, we're already in the swing of things. We're past like the first 3 to 4 weeks of the NFL season because, that's essentially the preseason anymore. You can't tell me anything until after like week 4. You can't tell me anything with the NFL. Because I don't buy it. I don't buy it. And another thing I'm not buying is the discussion around AJ Brown. I'm getting so sick of it. I really am. And you have national commentators out there right now who are saying, oh, could this be it for AJ Brown? Give me a break. First of all, give me a break. AJ Brown, yeah, he's going to leave. Okay. Yeah, the guy won a Super Bowl, and they're referring to some of his comments post Super Bowl. I've seen it on, Nick Wright, who's a Chiefs fan, by the way, talking about this regarding the lack of targets for AJ Brown and things of that nature. It's week. First of all, it's week 2. You have a new offensive coordinator, and has there been struggles with the offense? We talked about it on the last show. Yes, yards per play, the 30th. Passing yards per game, they're 31st. Passing first downs per game, they're 32nd. I mean, yeah, there's concern. There's been struggles with the offense. No one's disputing that. Can they get better? Sure. But you've seen Jalen Hurts be the quarterback, lead the team, especially in the Dallas game, won that game for you. So I'm not going to sit here and take 2 games in September that AJ Brown's going to already leave. Not that he just got a big extension or anything. Obviously, the guy wants the football. I mean, what are we talking about here? So I want to bring up a stat, and it was something interesting that caught my eye on Twitter. Zach Berman of The Athletic put this tweet out. I'm going to pull it up real quick. Give me a second. We're doing all types of jobs here. Let me see. I think it should be there. Oh, all right. Here we go. I see it. We have it up. All right. So here is a tweet from The Athletic, Zach Berman. And I found it fascinating. And I want your response to what I'm about to say here regarding the offense of AJ Brown. AJ Brown has thrived versus man-to-man coverage in Philly. The problem this year, the Eagles aren't seeing man coverage. The Eagles have faced man-to-man coverage on 10% of dropbacks this season. That's down from 27% last season. Brown has run 8 routes versus man coverage. He's been targeted on 4 of those, half of the time. He's run 47 routes versus zone coverage. He's been targeted on 5 of those. So sit with that for a second. Shout out to True Media Sports as well as Zach for pointing this out. Defenses, they have a year of film on what the Eagles did last year, right? And obviously the Eagles are a run-first team. So take that real quick. Read it if you're just jumping in. I see a bunch of people are jumping in right now. AJ Brown against man coverage versus zone. It's pretty obvious. If you watch the games, you've kind of been have known this. And AJ Brown was on Jordan Schultz's podcast, and he even discussed this about how the Eagles against Dallas specifically, they literally they just had good defense around them. They were playing against zone, and he was covered. He's a top receiver. They were doubling him. And by the way, no Dallas Goedert this time around either against the Chiefs. So if that is happening, I would expect that Kevin Patullo, and this is what you should be asking, right? Like if you're an Eagles fan, you're hoping and just asking like, hey, Kevin Patullo, let's make an adjustment here for AJ. How do we beat the zone coverage? How do we beat the way Dallas played, the way the Chiefs played? How do we get him open? It's play design. And that's what we talked about on Monday. The way the routes are queued up. He's been running a lot of slants, a lot of in routes, like stuff like that. And, you know, when he was talking on Jordan Schultz's podcast, he mentioned that the Cowboys did a good job of containing him. They were playing a zone. So the Eagles need to find a way to get past the zone, right? They have to figure out a way to get those receivers like Devontae Smith, like an A.J. Brown involved, because they're not going to see a lot of man coverage. That's clear. That if that is something you want to take away from the first couple of games, which I'm not going to take a ton away because it's so early in the season, you're already seeing the defenses do this. And you saw when they weren't really doing this, they would probably bring a blitz too. So you got to find ways to beat this, right? And help receivers out, help your quarterback out. And this is going to be the challenge for Kevin Patullo going forward. That is the challenge. You got your preseason. You got 2 more games I'll give you in preseason right now because it's only week 3. But you're 2-0, okay? Let's not forget that. A.J. Brown's going to have games where he's going to go off. Let's not forget that. But they got to find a way to beat the zone. That has to happen. They were much better against the man cover because of how big he is, how strong he is. We know how good A.J. Brown is, okay? But they got to find ways to beat the zone. If they're going to continually do this and the Eagles are not going to adjust, this is going to happen every week. It's going to be like 23 again where you're playing these close games, you're squeaking by, the offense isn't doing a ton. This is where you got to start saying, all right, now I got to look at the offensive coordinator. If this continues, they got to find ways to get AJ the ball. We know that. They're a run-first team. They have Saquon Barkley. There's a lot of mouths to feed. That is part of it, too. I'm not saying it's not an easy thing to do. I remember we were bashing Kellen Moore last year early on. Remember that. So give it a couple of weeks. Find the adjustment. I already see it. It's right there, okay? They're facing even less man coverage. Teams are so unwilling to get the Eagles into man coverage against these receivers. You're probably not going to see it a ton. And when you do, the Eagles have to pounce on it. So that is the challenge for Kevin Patullo. Can he find a way to get these guys open? First read, boom. Can you get it to A.J. Brown? Can you beat him on the slants, right? Etc. Posts, comebacks, whatever you need to do to get A.J. the ball. It's gonna help your football team. It's not pretty right now, but it'll help your football team. They're doing enough to win. You need one of those games where it's like, all right, let me go dominate. And remember a couple years ago when A.J. had like the 3 touchdown game? I guess it was against Pittsburgh. I think you're going to see one of those soon. I think you will. All right. So everybody relax. But I think that's the challenge for Kevin Patullo. Can he draw up something where you're able to get these guys more open? Beat the zone, right? Beat the zone coverage. They're not going to give you man this year. It's not going to happen. It's down. I'll pull it up again. That number is way down. And I'm glad that Zach pointed it out. You knew they've been in zone coverage for the most of the first 2 games, but it's a drastic change. I mean, it was 17% it dropped that the Eagles faced man already. So that's a big deal. It's a big deal. So if you're the Eagles, find a way to get AJ the ball. Find a way to get Devontae the ball. Devontae's talented too. We're only talking about AJ Brown when they have Devontae Smith on the other side too. It's not like he's been, lighting up the stat sheet either. So I'm very encouraged. I think I'll be very encouraged going forward. But for me, they got to find a way to design AJ some plays. And you saw that early on. That's where Corey chiming in. So they're in zone, but is he getting open? Not really. Not really. And he talked about this. In the Cowboys game, they did a good job, and you watch some of the tape, he wasn't really getting open. That's why there was so much discussion. Was he kind of a decoy? Was the hamstring still bothering him? No, he's not getting open. The play design hasn't been great. It's been bland, very bland. Running too many slants, too many boring routes, and the defense have adjusted. The defenses have adjusted, but it's not just AJ. It's like you got to get Devontae open too. And listen, they were missing Dallas Goedert last week, so that that's going to throw you off. The guy, very important to this offense, another weapon that defenses have to worry about. So I think they'll be okay. It's you have a new offensive coordinator, things are going to adjust. Remember, all these guys are learning it too, right? All these guys are jumping into, and this is another year where Jalen does not have the same offensive coordinator. So that's that. But I found that fascinating. I thought it was an interesting tweet that it's down 17% from man coverage already. And it's a big number already. All right. Let's move it along. Before I get out of here, if you're a Sixers fan, I can't wait for the Sixers to start the season, even though they just aggravate me at times. By the way, shout out to my guy RB having Tyrese Maxey on his show on his YouTube channel. Go check that out. It was very, very well done. Very good interview. A lot of insight there from Tyrese Maxey. Go check out RB Philly Take. Did a great job with the Maxey interview. So before I get out of here, the Sixers have been a little bit in the news lately. One, because Quentin Grimes still not signed. I mean, he's not going to go anywhere else, but he's not signed. So there's that. And then the 76ers social team. I want to bring up this picture real quick, if my computer will allow me to. Maybe. Hold up. I promise I have the picture of Joel Hans Embiid. There he is. He is looking slim, man. He looks good. Did he drop a couple more pounds? I remember last year, you didn't see this. You didn't see the Sixers putting out teasers of guys, right? He looks good, and this isn't the only one. Multiple pictures. They put out a video. He looks very slim. He looks like he's in good health. And according to Tyrese Maxey, he's been in good shape, and he's in good spirits. Positive. You're going to take every positive if you're a Sixers fan with some of these pictures. And I know we've been tricked in the past, and it's the Ben Simmons effect where they put out this stuff in the offseason. It's like, oh, my God, he looks great. These are great videos. Awesome. He looks awesome. He looks good, man. I hope it's not Photoshop. I doubt it, but I'm sure he's in good shape. You just hope those knees stay healthy. You just hope he stays healthy. He's just so talented, man. I mean, I argue he's the most talented player in basketball when he's 100%. I do. Like, I think he is that talented of a player. God, I remember when I went to that 70-point game feels like the last time like you really saw him at top notch. And the fact that he was dropping 50 on one knee with Bell's palsy against the Knicks a couple of years ago, it's amazing. I mean, he moves like a guard, and it's an issue at his size, And he's dealt with so many injuries. People are going to criticize the Sixers for giving him the contract extension. I have been one of them. But man, if he can just stay on the floor, get through the regular season, you're just hoping. Because, I mean, they have some good young talent on this team. You get a healthy Maxey back. If you get VJ Edgecombe into the mix, I think he's going to be a contributor, third overall pick. Jared McCain coming back from injury. Love his YouTube video. Love them. But, I mean, they have a good young nucleus of guards as well, and you need that. Now, do they probably need a little bit of size at the 4? Sure. Could you use a 4? Sure. And then just get something. You just hope you get something out of Podcast P. Just get something. But Joel looks good, man. Those pictures and the video were very encouraging. I know it's social media, but, as a Sixers fan, you'll take anything at this point. I mean, last season was such a disappointment. And you'll take anything, any positive that you could take. And last year started off on such a negative tone, negative note. You'll take this. You'll take this. Definitely. So, all right, that's going to wrap it up for me. Phillies start in a little bit, take on the Dodgers. The Dodgers, the NL East champs, taking on Los Angeles tonight, going for the sweep. They already won the series, took 2 out of 3 already. Phillies have 91 wins on the year, going for win number 92. Luzardo, Blake Snell, should be a fun matchup. I'm going to try and get through as much as I can, but we'll see. It's been a God. I hate these late night starts. They're not going to play before 8 o'clock until Sunday. Oh, at least you get the Eagles and then the Phillies back to back. So that's nice. But I mean, that game's not going to matter as much. But they are chasing Milwaukee at this point. Check the standings real quick. So you have what is it? Let me check. League overall, maybe. So they are right now still a game and a half behind Milwaukee for the top spot. Very easily could catch him. Very easily. But Arizona, that series, the next series Phillies have, they're in the mix for the wild card right now, chasing the Mets. So they're that's a team I don't want to play right now. They're hot. They are hot. They've won 4 in a row. So that's a team you don't want to play. All right. That's going to wrap it up for me. Phils, Birds, Sixers. We'll get some Flyers. I'm going to get a Flyers guest at some point, talk some Flyers. So that'll be fun. They made a move the other day. Fedotov getting traded. So we'll get into them at some point. But thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you everyone who commented as well. Had a good crowd in there tonight. Remember, like, share, follow Nernshaw Radio on YouTube, X, all of the social media platforms. Make sure to check them out for sure. Nernshaw Radio on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, all of the platforms. Thanks everyone for chiming in, texting in, commenting, all of it. Thank you very much. We will talk to you soon. See you next Monday. Peace.